Hello, folks. I'm back with another firearms review slash impressions. But most of all, I wanted to show you what I got for my birthday. My birthday was on May 15th. And the week before my birthday, I was just doing some window shopping and wanted to see what was available out there. And because I wanted to buy another CZ firearm. Uh, I did go to the shop and I had my heart set on picking up a CZ 75B Urban Gray edition. And I saw it there. What I decided to do was to come back the following week and to pick that firearm up. Unfortunately, when I got back today, a week later, to pick that firearm up, the dealer informed me that uh, that particular gun was sold to a customer 20 minutes before I arrived there. And I wish I got there 45 minutes before. I would have been able to have that firearm because right now I'm into firearms that are made of basically all steel construction. I'm trying to get away from polymer firearms for a little bit, but and I also wanted to get into double action, single action pistols, and because that's what kind of thing that I'm into right now. So I did some research with CZ, and I did some checking out YouTube videos and so forth, and I came across this guy named Big Johnson Guns and Gear, and he's like this CZ guru, if you will. And I liked a lot of the firearms that he had, and that was one of them, the 75B in Urban Gray. So, like I said, I was pretty much disappointed that I didn't get it. So I'm becoming a real CZ fanboy, and the more I look at his channel, the more I start liking CZs more and more. So when I was at the store today and I'm looking to find another CZ to purchase, that store got very crowded. It started off with 5 people, and then it started going into 10 people because that store specializes in CZs, and they also specialize in SIG P320s. They have a lot of those there as well. So I was looking at the Shadow 2. It was in all black. I really liked that firearm, but unfortunately, I didn't have enough funds to pay for it at that time. So I figured I had to pick something before someone else in the store decides to purchase something that I would like. So I ended up purchasing a CZ P09 in Urban Gray. Uh, CZ's Urban Gray line, or if you don't know, their Urban Gray line are basically suppressor ready. All of them will. I think it's roughly about five or six firearms that in the Urban Gray that have the suppressor uh, ready pistols. They're in their Urban Gray, which is a mixture of their version of FDE mixed with gray. And uh, one of the biggest things that you would notice straight out is the sights on here, the suppressor height sights, and especially that front sight. The front sight was the first thing that got my attention. I mean, you look at this front sight, it looks like you could pick a lock with that thing, or spread butter on toast with this thing. That's how big a monstrosity this um, suppressor height sight is, and you can see with the back a lot when when you're checking out to look down the sights. I had this habit in the store of just looking at that sight, that front sight, because it's so huge, and I didn't think about lining up the sights properly like you're supposed to, because that sight really got my attention. One thing about the Urban Gray line, this is the Omega trigger that the CZ puts on some of their pistols. The Omega trigger system is one of those systems where it makes it easier that if you're into gunsmithing or easy change out adjustments to these triggers, um, it makes it really easy. Also, it makes it easy for the change right here. This is the decocker, and usually with this particular line, it comes with the Decocker, and it also comes with the standard right here. It comes with the standard safety, which you can use this in a cock and lock fashion like you have a 1911 pistol. So all you have to do is you swap that out. It comes with the instructions on how to do that, and then you can swap these out, make it like, and it will be like a 1911 pistol. You can carry it cocked and locked. Also, because some people don't or really like safety, some people like the cockers. So I think that's a good value that CC has done with that. Yeah, a lot of people have different opinions about that. Some people think just going with the regular safety, it eliminates a lot of issues. Far, it helps the trigger out to be shot better. That's what some people are saying. Some people are saying that there's a lot of mechanisms in this decocking system that it doesn't make the trigger as smooth as it should be. This firearm is unloaded. I never, when I'm on camera, I never load these firearms or whatnot. This magazine right here is it's not really a 19 round magazine. This is a +2 extension plate on here. So this is giving you a total of 21 rounds in the mag +1 in the chamber. So you're talking about 22 rounds. That's a lot of firepower, and they give you two magazines. So that is a lot of firepower in this firearm. It's really crazy how the magazine capacity is really going back up again. If you're in a state that's not a free state, you're going to probably just be limited to 10 rounds, or this firearm might not be sold in your location. It comes in with 3 different back straps. It comes with, this is the small, medium, and I have the large one on here right now. It depends on how you feel with that. I notice a lot of firearms companies, such as the M&Ps and the Glocks and the Springfields, they all have these new back straps that you can adjust for your hands. So that's pretty much on the normal side. As usual, the cleaning brush and so forth. One of my favorite things about purchasing a CZ, it's not only the instruction booklet. The instruction booklet, it's very, very colorful pictures and shows you all that blah 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 stuff. But if you're a geek, you'll probably love to read everything about it. But one of my favorite things about with all CZ pistols, it comes with the target that that the tester has done with this. They take roughly about 5 shots before they ship these out, and this is supposed to be the main point of impact right here, and his shots were pretty much over here. So from the distance, I guess he's shooting from range of fire is 25 meters. See if I can focus on that a little better. So yeah, 25 meters. This the type of ammunition that he was using, and it's really interesting how they had this all lined up, and it shows you the date that it was tested. I'm trying to find that on here. I was reading that earlier, and that's what I like about that, the different information that they supply. So this was January 11th, 2017, that this was, I guess they finished making the firearm and when it was tested. That's one of the things that I like about the CZ company. Okay, I paused this momentarily. I filmed all my videos off of a cell phone, so I had to break this apart, and it would have been a little difficult. But I just wanted to point out, show you this, what is broken down. As you know, with basically all CZ pistols, it has that what I call an inverted slide, where basically your slide rails are into the frame of the gun, which is the unique engineering factor about the CZ pistols. They have that ability to make a product where the slide is the reverse of what traditional firearms are. As you see there, there's uh, your firing pin block right there. Here's another view of where the slide fits in. One of the things that I really like about this pistol is not on my SP01, and I'm really surprised that he didn't do it. This is a full-length guide rod that is all steel, and I was really surprised at that. It's a flat spring that's all steel construction, and I was really surprised that the SP01 didn't have the steel on there. I think the upper end models like the Shadow 2 will have this type of spring inside. Uh, of course, here's your thread protector here. Uh, I I have no ambitions to get a suppressor at this time. Um, it's too much paperwork. It's too much to go through. I'll just when I take this to the range, I'll probably just rent a can and take a few shots. But I figured I wanted to buy something different, especially I wanted to get something that's in flat darker and have something that, suppressors look cool, even though it doesn't have a function that I plan on uh, doing at this time. Before I put this totally back together, I just wanted to show you right here. This is this portion right here. I don't know if it's focusing well, but this portion right here, this is where you can do your change outs for your safety versus your decocker right here. Uh, if you go on Such Double Ot, he shows you how to change these from a decocker to a safety backwards and forwards, and it's a really good video to watch him do this. I'm not as skilled at changing things out or whatnot. I haven't made up my mind to make this uh, put this in the safety configuration, but I'm kind of liking the decocker a little bit. So I'll deal with the decocker for now before I decide to do any change outs. Okay, now that I have the firearm back together, uh, yeah, the only other thing I wanted to tell you about is the trigger pull. The trigger pull is roughly about a 9 pound pull. This is down where it's in its full state, and when you pull the trigger, it's kind of like a tough pull for me. Anyway, it's really a tough pull to me. It, you see the slack right there, so you might want to just take the creep up a little bit and then try to pull the trigger, and it's really a long hard pull. It feels like a 10 pound pull. I don't have a Lyman trigger gauge to basically tell you exactly. Okay, I paused it again because, like I said, I'm using my cell phone, but I just pulled this the slide back and cocked the trigger. I just wanted to show you with the decocker when you pull this down, the decocking lever, and it goes into like a half cock position if you're looking back here, or quarter cock position. Now the trigger pull in this position, usually when you are racking the slide, you're chambering around. In this position, rather than the full down position, now you notice the take up is a lot shorter from here to here. Even though there's slack, but there's a lot of the take up is a lot shorter. And as you pull it, it's still a hard pull, but it's not as bad as the pull before. I'll go off camera again, rack it, and I'll show you again. Okay, again, you see that? It's hammers back, pull the decocker, goes into that quarter cock mode. There's a slack, and you pull that. It's a smooth pull from there. It's smooth. It's not as good as an SP01, you can forget about that. But where this firearm really shines is in single action mode. Okay, right now I just cocked it back into single action mode. Now there's a little bit of take up right here, just a little bit right here, but when you hit this wall right here, you pull the trigger and it's like a 4 pound pull. It's like it's very smooth and it can be startling if you're not really paying attention or not paying attention to, especially if you're on the range doing anything has to deal with safety, and you just pull this trigger and just right near the wall, then it breaks. I'm going to do that again. There's that little gap right here, and if you look real good where my finger is and where the back of the trigger well, you pull the trigger here, and it's really smooth. It's really smooth, 4 pound trigger pull. This is one of the things I like about this, especially when you're like trying to figure out things when you're dry fire. You're trying to get used to the firearm. It's good to dry fire just to get acquainted with the firearm and its functions. And that I just can't wait to probably go to the range one day and feel that trigger pull in single action. Okay, right now I racked the slide. This time my finger is depressed. I wanted to show you at this point where the trigger resets. I'm going to let it out right there, and it resets right there. You hear that? That's an audible click. Yeah, once you hear that audible click, there's no need to go any further. And then you pull, there's a slight little gap right there, and you pull, and it's like that. I'm going to do that again. And again, I apologize for the cell phone work here, but here's the letting it out, positive reset right there, and then there's that slight gap right there, and then there's that pull, and it's right there. It's a really, really nice trigger in single action. I really have to probably experiment with this with double action. I love my SP01, so CZ makes a really good firearm, so I'm really looking forward to see how this performs. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Just had to show this. I usually try to buy a firearm for my birthday every year. I really like this firearm. I've watched some other reviews, and this is just a little minor review just to show you what I got for my birthday and what I'm happy with, and just to let you know that CZ is one of those companies that are it has a cult following, but they are really doing good. This firearm in the regular configuration, the P09, is used by their law enforcement. I've found through a couple of YouTube videos, some training drills that I believe it's some type of Czech Republic Police Department, or I forget who they are, and they're doing drills with this and the P07s. The P07 is just the compact version of this. So if you're a person that wants something different or want to go back old school, I can highly recommend the CZ line of pistols. Like I said, I didn't want to go polymer, but I had to in this case because CZ just makes a quality pistol. So if you like this video, please like and subscribe. And thanks a lot and happy shooting.